Hello and welcome to the Lexington, Kentucky Real Estate Show. I am your host, Morgan Franklin, and with me as always is Rex Hall. Today we are doing a very special episode of the show for a little segment we're going to call Ask a Realtor. Something we're going to start doing on a recurring basis, and we're bringing it to you live from the Maynard Builders model here in Tuscany. So without any further ado, today we are going to talk about home inspections, why they're important, and with that, Rex, what is a home inspection? Why do we want to have one?
Home inspection is conducted by a licensed home inspector in the state of Kentucky, and it checks all the major components of the house. Your roof, your crawl, your mechanicals, everything that's vital to the home.
So if I am thinking about buying a house, how long do I usually have to have a home inspection?
Typically, that is written in the contract. As a listing agent, I don't like to see anything more than a 15-day response. So somewhere around 15 days.
Cool. So a couple things that I always look for in a home inspection is, if they tell you the age of the HVAC, it's always a great idea to pull the serial number, put it in that fancy Google machine, and figure out when the thing was manufactured and make sure that that makes sense. Crawl spaces are also really, really important. You want to make sure it's nice and dry down there. No mold, no issues. Something else that's really important, if you're buying a house and financing it through the FHA, you're going to want to make sure that all the windows open and close, as well as all the trim is painted. So if you have any peeling paint on the exterior of the house,
that's a no-no.
Yeah, I've actually repainted a doorway myself for a seller who was out of town, and we needed to put a coat of paint on it. So always make sure during your home inspection you spot those things. What else is important? Roof age. You want to make sure that the roof, whatever they tell you in the inspection, that or on the disclosures, that the roof looks about the same, because roofs are expensive.
Leaks under the sink. You always want to make sure there's no leaks.
Ooh, toilets. Toilets always, if a toilet's loose, it could leak under the laminate or the tile and cause a subflooring issue. We've seen it too many times.
Yes.
Too many times. Let's see, what else is important? HVAC air filters.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So 9 times out of 10, you walk into somebody's house and you can tell if they're a slob or not. And when you walk in and you just see there's crap everywhere, the house is a disaster, you can pretty much bet that the HVAC air filter is going to be filthy. And so that's important, because if you pull that filter out and it's caked full of crap this thick, you've probably shortened the life of the HVAC unit considerably. And so you know that person hasn't been taking care of the house, and it's going to make you more alert to look for other things. The air filter tells all. HVAC systems about $7,500 for a replacement. So you want to make sure that you've got a nice, properly working HVAC unit. What am I missing?
Gutters are a big deal. You want to make sure the water's wicking away from the home. That causes structural issues. So, structural issues are probably the number one.
I don't think I've ever had a home inspection where the inspector didn't say that there wasn't enough grade coming from the downspout. So when you get your inspection back and it says proper downspouts and get water away from the house, they say that on every inspection. I've never had one that didn't.
Yeah, there's always something.
So go to Lowe's, get those ugly black pipes, stick them out in your yard. It's better to have an ugly yard than a sinking house. We actually had a deal this year fall apart because of some water issues, caused some settling, had to get out. So those are a couple things to look out for. So Rex, what do we do when we get our inspection report back? If you're representing the buyer and they get their inspection report back, what do you do at that point?
We take the inspection report, we go over it with the buyer, we pick out the critical items that the buyer would like to request to be fixed, and then we put together an inspection agreement. We submit that to the seller.
Yep. And so do you get everything you ask for every time?
No, you do not. But it's always good to ask.
My favorite's when you get the improvement list. Like there's no insulation in the crawl space. Not only do I want it insulated, but I want it spray foamed. I've seen that one.
That's always nice.
So it really becomes another negotiation. And one of the things that Rex mentioned is you look at the inspection report. Before you hire a home inspector, your real estate agent's going to help you, select one, but talk to them beforehand and make sure that they're going to give you a color PDF report with photos. I mean, I've gotten home inspector reports that were on a piece of carbon paper written in crayon that looked like a toddler did it.
Yep.
It's really important to hire a professional. Don't let your uncle, the contractor, come and do it. It's not what he does for a living, and he's going to miss stuff. It's only a few $100s. And one of the biggest investments you've ever made in your entire life, so always hire a professional that's going to give you a really, really good report, because a lot of times when you make your inspection repair request, they're going to want to see that report, and if you don't have photos, it's kind of hard to prove that certain things happened, and it means you might have to go back and crawl in an attic or a crawl space or something. So always hire a professional. Did I miss anything?
Licensed in the state of Kentucky and affiliated with LBAR. So as long as you have a home inspector that meets those, I think you should be good.
Cool. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching Ask a Realtor with myself and Rex Hall. If you guys have any questions about Central Kentucky real estate, click the link in the description below. It's going to take you over to the website. You can search for homes. You can find out what Rex's sign is and the fact that he likes long walks on the beach. Our bios, search for homes, everything you want to know about Central Kentucky, or you can just give us a ring. Both of our contact information is going to be down there in the description below as well. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.